Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mission Men Podcast, brought to you by Mission Media Group. The Mission Men Podcast, the podcast about absolutely nothing and everything, and just a little bit in between. Just a little bit, John. We have two guests for you again today. We're so excited. We've got Keith, we've got Orlando. Guys, thank you so much for joining the show. We're so excited to have you. We're just going to have some good conversations. We're going to hang out just like we would at church.
I just want to say something to bring attention to myself.
Of course. Go ahead.
I feel like I'm in a farm right now because of how many goats are sitting around me.
Yes.
No, we didn't plan that. And that sounds so forced, though. That sounds so planned.
I love that sound effect so much.
It is our new favorite sound effect for you.
It's just
only
for John.
For me when I say something.
It's only for you.
Is myself.
Anything that's sus.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well done. So Orlando, we kind of have like a little, like tradition with like guests. We just like to ask them questions just to kind of like, just loosen them up, have a fun question.
Sure.
So where do you stand in like the whole Russia-Ukraine thing?
Oh.
No, just kidding.
Wow.
No, don't answer. That's a total joke. But no, Orlando, tell us a little bit about yourself.
About myself? Well, my name is Orlando. I'm a sound engineer, you want to call that. I go to Joy Church for the last 7 years, and I'm enjoying you guys.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
It's been 7 years.
Has it been 7 years?
7 years now.
Wow. Well, you can't just stop there. You work with some big people.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the stuff people you work with.
Yeah.
So I've worked with in the music industry mixing records for people like One Direction, Lady Gaga.
Average, normal
people. Hey.
I mean, you want to hear the big names?
Yeah, we do. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Right.
Destiny Child and some others. I mean,
all right. So
he's a star, basically.
Oh, of course.
No, not really. Not really. I'm just the guy behind the star.
All right. So
humble.
So talk to us a little bit about that. So what were you doing specifically for those records? Were you doing different things per record or like the same? Okay. So name a couple things that you're doing.
So I mean, for Destiny Child, I did a lot of recording vocals and tracking instruments and stuff like that. On the case of One Direction, I do. In the beginning, I did a lot of recording, like everybody else. They start from the bottom. Recording and serving coffee at the studio and all that stuff. And, little by little, you start getting promoted to the next task.
You started as like a runner, if you will, like getting the coffee.
Yeah. I mean, I started from Puerto Rico originally. So I started first in Puerto Rico and I moved to Atlanta. And when I moved to Atlanta, I already had a little bit of a knowledge. So it's easy for me to move and navigate in the industry. But my first session in Atlanta was with Cameo.
Really?
Cameo. Like the Cameo.
The Cameo.
Wow.
Word up.
John, what are your thoughts on Cameo?
Oh my gosh, a phenomenal bass player.
That's
I feel like that sound effect's gonna get kind of old.
No,
it'll never get old.
No, it's the best. No, that's fun. So, so that was your first session in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, and when I moved to the U.S., from Puerto Rico.
Yeah. So, I mean, did you do a lot of the bigger sessions in Atlanta, or were you there for a while? Or?
I was there for almost 6-7 years.
Okay.
Wow.
And then I moved to New York.
Okay.
And in New York here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. How long were you in New York for?
10 years.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. So, so what spawned the move from, or spurred the move from Atlanta to New York?
I was working in Atlanta for a guy called Shakespeare, he's a producer.
Oh yeah, poems.
William.
William. Where art thou?
Yeah. Where art thou?
Yeah, exactly. So I was working for him, and I got another opportunity with a guy called Corey Rooney. That is Tony Motola's right hand.
Okay.
And that's why I moved to New York.
Whose right hand?
Tony Motola. Tony Motola is...
I don't know any of these. You had me at Lady Gaga. I knew that one. But then everyone else I have not known.
Well, this is people more like into the... I mean, I know they're not artists. They are more like the producers and the people behind. Tony Motola, it used to be Mariah Carey's husband.
Okay, I know Mariah.
So you know that. There you go. So, but he was the president of Sony Record for years.
Sony?
Yeah, he was the main guy for years.
You know Sony's first product was a refrigerator?
Can you do the sound?
Don't.
No, I'm serious.
So
You'll never believe me because that's what I normally say, stuff like that, but that's true.
So I feel like John during this part,
Edit that in post, John.
No, I'm not.
Show them the proof.
The audio will not be edited. I feel like John's at this point like, I know some of these words. Yeah.
Sony.
No.
There you go.
Okay, so you're there, you're doing that, and then what made you move to Nashville?
Working for a producer. I was working not necessarily now in the studio. I was working doing his show, David Foster, and
The David Foster.
The David Foster.
The
And
Hitman.
The Hitman.
Yes.
So the company that does his production asked me to move. A couple times they asked me to move to Vegas, and I said no, I don't want to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
And they have finally asked me to move here, and I said yeah, Nashville. I do
cool.
that. So
That's great.
that's why I moved
That's
here.
awesome.
Okay, so what's like one behind the scenes thing? Because obviously you've worked with some pretty famous people. What's something like behind the scenes that a lot of people like wouldn't think or wouldn't know? And obviously we're not exposing anybody, but just like, you know, maybe what was something that a lot of people wouldn't know about working with artists behind the scenes? Maybe like, are they really that good at singing, or did you have to help out a lot, or you know, you don't
on the spot.
you don't have to name names. You don't have to name names, but just
It was,
Tune.
You know what? They're humans. You know what I mean? And what
that's
I learned.
one good way of
You know
saying
what I mean?
it.
Yeah. So nobody's perfect. So I think, yeah, no, you see a lot of people that you think they're very talented, and when you go backstage, you're like, oh, okay, I see how this works.
Name two of those people. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
But yeah, no, they're vulnerable. I mean, they're real people. They don't like. It's funny because one of the things that I gain with these people is the trust. Meaning is not trying to be a fan.
Yeah.
Trying to
Right,
be a regular
right.
person.
Right.
That kind of like.
Right.
Kind of like, oh, okay, good. I don't have to. And no pictures. No.
Right,
You know,
right.
none of
Yeah.
that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
you're just trying to keep it like, okay, it's a
or
friend.
pictures that they at least know about, right? You can still take.
You know, but you don't want to be on their face. You know, when we
Yeah, of course.
close friend, and then
course.
if it happens, it happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have some pictures
Sure.
with artists, but I try to not make it like, oh, let's take a picture, and
Yeah,
So
right.
that kind of gets in trust. So what that tells me that they regular people, vulnerable,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and I'm sure they respect that so much and probably want to work with you more because of the fact that you're so willing just to treat them like another person. Because I'm sure 99% of the day they're getting treated like the rock star that they are.
Yeah.
And, you know, people just falling all over them, and probably even their own team probably
Right.
telling them
Yeah.
certain things. And
Yeah, I
so
would say so.
I'm sure they appreciate that.
I would say so. Yeah.
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 Definitely.
Well, that's cool.
They're probably used to a ton of people just coming up to them, just trying to get business, you know, money, connections,
Money
and stuff.
and fans are, you know, it's funny because the artists, like what I see, they don't like fans.
Yeah,
I mean, not necessarily they want the fan, but they don't want to like feel that the person is beside them is a fan. They want to be
Right.
somebody that they can, you know, normal,
out
and they
with.
can hang out with, and not necessarily
Yeah.
somebody that is going to be like, oh my god, you know.
yeah.
I always say that I never get starstruck around celebrities, except if it was Logan Paul that walked into
Oh,
the room.
gosh.
Then I would be like, oh my gosh, it's Logan Paul.
Move to Puerto Rico.
Yeah. There you go.
He
He's
lives in
there.
Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, that okay. So really, that's cool, Orlando. Thank you for sharing. And then, so over here we got Mr. Keith Foust, who we love so much.
That's nice.
I call Keith can attest to this. I call him the MVP of Joy Church. I mean, this
Seriously,
guy.
nice.
It's
This,
about right.
This guy
The GOAT
is
of
the-
Joy Church.
Yes.
I don't know about any of that. I
Hit
think
the
I
bass
think
sound
we're
effect.
surrounded by a lot of MVPs.
Yeah.
I don't think I get all that credit. That's very kind of you.
All right, so tell us a little bit about what you do at the church. I mean, I know you got your hands in a lot.
He does a lot of
So yeah, tell us a little bit about what you do.
It's changing some. You know, we've got some new teams on staff. So
Yeah.
you know, my role is modifying. But you know, for a lot of years, we just make sure we oversee the tech side of the house. A lot of the audio visual. A lot of the web and digital and IT operations and some of the graphic design that you expect to see. So just, you know, make sure that those teams are all running well and
Yeah.
representing the Lord and church and our pastor really well.
So you just listed like 4 paying full-time jobs.
Well,
IT. He forgot to mention IT too.
IT,
Yeah,
as well.
To mention that one
Well,
too.
and here's the thing about Keith is that he does this all completely on his own for free, and he's got a full-time job.
Yeah.
He's got 3 beautiful girls. He's got an awesome wife. I mean, like
definitely have some advantages in life. Yeah,
so
I have a couple advantages.
So the fact that you do all that with everything that's already on
Right.
your plate is just mind blowing.
Oh, it's we're like you were saying earlier, Orlando. We're human. We're not knocking everything out of the park. We have some hits and some misses, and so it's humbling. We're very honored to do what we do for God. I mean, it's an honor and a pleasure, and the fact that we've been able to get to do it is just still amazing to me. Sometimes I reflect on it and I'm like, we get to do this? Like that's really nice. I mean, anybody could do this, and some people could do a lot better actually. But so I'm just super thankful.
Well, go ahead, John.
I will say though, yes, people can do it better, but you always you can
yeah, that's it.
you know what I mean?
Hold on.
That's exactly what I was trying to say earlier.
Thank you. Let me try that again.
Well, hold on. Before you do that, I just want to say that was so your dad to the T.
Really?
That is true. That's true.
Oh, yeah.
That was your dad.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, go ahead.
That was your dad.
Shout out Joel Osteen. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out Pastor Jim, my awesome dad. Okay, now anyways, what I was saying though is yes, people could do it better, but you're always very trendy and the right trends. You're very relative. You make current things every year that's current. Like you don't fall off the graphic.
But you forgot.
I wish that was true.
He has
I wish that
amazing
was true.
personality.
Yeah, he has
Amazing personality. That's
as
why
well.
it makes it right there.
Well, all you guys are very nice, and if you've seen all the things we did
Speechless.
wrong,
Well,
ask your dad about the moving bear sometime on the screen.
moving bear?
Yeah,
Okay,
the graphic, and
funny.
it's not all good.
All right, but here's the thing. Again, Keith is obviously super, super humble, and we're just bragging on him a little bit. But one thing, the mark of a really successful person is somebody that's willing to adapt as things change. Right.
Absolutely.
And that goes for any industry, that goes for any job. And that's just to your point, John. Keith does a great job at that, and I'm sure it helps having young girls in the house that can kind of keep you up to date with things.
Yeah. The girls are. I think I heard you earlier on one of the podcasts saying that your daughter
Absolutely
was asking about why is the intro always change? You guys never say the same thing on the intro. And our girls can tell the truth, right? They just flat out tell the truth. So I was telling you that story the other day. Okay, so I walked into the booth yesterday, and I saw Muscles here sitting in the booth, and of course, I called him Muscles, and then he, did the obligatory thing. Oh no, man, you're Muscle. And I just laughed because, so we're at the house the other day, and I didn't have a sweatshirt, which my 16-year-old daughter recommended I wear this to the podcast.
Oh, it's great.
Did she?
She didn't like what I was wearing earlier.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
so she's like, so they're great.
like, Dad,
they speak
you have to
truth, right?
change. You have to
But
change.
my 17-year-old
she was
daughter,
like, you have to wear something.
who's about to be 18 this week, she said to me the other day, I had a short sleeve shirt on, and she said, "Dad, you remember Avengers? Do you remember the Avengers movies?
Yeah.
You remember when Tony Stark was like in the spaceship and he was dying, and they were out of air. Remember this?
Yeah.
And he was getting all famished, and she says to me, she says, "Dad, why do your arms look like Tony Stark dying?" I am not kidding.
So foul.
It's so true. It's true. I'm like, you got me. That's true.
Yeah, but then you look at your calves and you're like, oh my gosh, this is Thor
Those
reincarnated.
don't count. Yeah, those don't count.
You got
But
Hulk's
anyways,
calves.
so our girls, we're very honored and very blessed. But girls and kids, they have a way of just telling you
That's
straight.
funny. That's funny.
So
That's awesome.
Hey, it's okay.
I love it.
They'll
can work on
motivate
the
you to
arms.
stay in shape, I guess.
Yep, that's true.
And Orlando, for you, you've also got young boys,
motivators.
right?
2 boys, yeah.
Okay, how old are they?
11 and 13.
Okay.
Oh, teenager.
Yeah.
So, how's that transition been? Kind of, getting older and
Same thing. They kind of correct me all the time, especially on my English. It's kind of fun. Like, really? Really?
What's an example? What's something I had recently?
Oh man, I cannot mention one. I cannot remember one, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
constantly,
there.
constantly, all the time. They're like, You don't say it like that. Or they go like, what are you saying? And I'm like, really? You're my son for 13 years and now you're correcting me. I don't know how that goes, but it happened.
Right.
Is someone knocking on the door? Like I hear
No,
knocking.
it's sorry. It's Keith tapping on the thing.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No tapping. No tapping.
This was me while Orlando was talking. I was like,
Yeah, that was my wife when we were driving earlier because I was tapping a lot
like
while we were driving,
Uh-huh.
and I had headphones in and she didn't. So yeah,
That's funny.
She was like, "Who's knocking on my van window doors and driving 90 down the highway?"
That's funny.
sorry about that. Okay.
No,
No, it's okay.
It's all
mics
good.
are they have feelings. They just feel like, "Oop," ow.
What?
Anyways, so that's just when John says something we don't know what to do. That's the new thing.
sound.
That's
That's the
new
sound
thing.
we gave him now.
All right, so let's talk about this. So, obviously, Orlando, you've helped out a lot with the audio Joy Church, and Keith, you've ran that for a really long time. So, talk about some of the things that you guys have done together, that you've worked together on, specifically in church.
We've done
Start from the beginning.
We've done a lot together. We stood up a live stream.
Yep.
Board during COVID.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Hey, talk about that. Okay, so what was that experience like? I mean, so COVID happens. Oh my goodness, we've
All
got
churches are forced to.
They're
go into this.
freaking out. Everything's on fire. What happens?
We were actually in Gatlinburg with the entire staff when all the news came out about COVID. We had there had been a tornado for a staff advance the year before, and we kind of rescheduled it. And Pastor had taken us all down to Gatlinburg, and we all huddled there.
Yeah.
And kind of talked through.
In Ruby Tuesdays, wasn't it?
Yeah. Some at the house, some at Ruby Tuesday. Yeah. And so, and then we got back and we kind of prepped some things because we saw the handwriting on the wall. Like, this is probably going to happen faster than we think.
Yeah.
And so we set some things up. And then from Saturday to Wednesday, like the decision was made. Okay, we're going to go live stream on Wednesday. So
you had
You had
4
nothing
days.
before that.
4 days.
We weren't ready.
We had nothing.
We had nothing.
Whoa.
Now at the time we used the
Front house console.
right, which it was a D-Live.
Avid D-Live.
It was the original D-Live.
The original D-Live.
with all the
Problems it had.
yeah. I won't. I
And for
don't know
the-
if Avid's listening. So
and-
it was a first generation digital
Keith,
console.
I think they already know.
It was a great
Keith,
console. It's
Keith,
just
I can guarantee you they're not listening.
Okay, that's
Okay, so,
okay. So
but here, real quick, just
They're
for-
not avid listeners.
So
that's a good one.
You
there's-
deserve that one.
So, for those listening, that the D Live board or watching, it's pretty much like one of the original, kind of get things started going with lives. I mean, Orlando, how would you describe it?
yeah. I mean, it was one of the first, not the first digital console, but
Sure,
it was one
yeah.
of the one that was very successful.
Yeah, right.
Very successful. Besides
But
Yamaha.
that was years ago, right? Or
yeah. I mean, so probably like almost, I'll say 20 years now.
20 girls.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So definitely not new. We'll just,
No,
it's safe to
definitely
say
not.
that.
But it's the first console I used plugins actually.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
that,
there you
that
go.
was
Oh, there
the
you
first
go.
console I used plugins.
So Keith, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just want to make sure everybody understood.
No, so
that-
yeah, it was a big board, and so we routed some outputs into the live feed
onto a
and
computer.
yes, into a computer, and we got it up and running.
Yeah.
And we happened to patch it with some audio, and it seemed to work. And then, fortunately, Orlando was around, so Orlando actually designed a real system, and we replaced our analog system or our digital system, but we replaced it with a system that could be shared with one unit with both the front of the house and the live stream room. So
Wow.
that was fortunately because Orlando was around. So Orlando put a lot of the legwork into the design.
Right. So sorry, just real quick. So again, just for those listening that might not understand, we were able to find a way to take the signal of the band, the singers. We're able to split it 2 different ways. We're one to where the people in the congregation could hear, and then one separately for a live stream room.
Yeah, that's
sorry.
now. That's how it is set up.
That's
now.
right.
definitely,
Right.
Did
Sorry. Go ahead.
Did you basically just like Jimmy rig what you could find that we had at church?
beginning?
At the beginning, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's
Like-
what we've done like for so many projects. So many. I mean,
Yeah.
Paul's been around a long time, and Brandon,
yeah.
and they've seen some of these rigs that we've kind of connected together to
Duct
get
tape
things
them together.
operational. Get
Put
things
some duct
operational.
tape
Work
does
with
everything.
what we had at the time.
Right.
Right. It was a different time, different space.
Yeah.
And you're working with what you have. And
Desperate
so,
needs call for wait. Desperate times come. Wait, desperate.
No, go ahead. Take your time.
Take your time. We'll let you do it.
Desperate needs call for desperate times.
That's right.
Something like that. But yes, in the middle of the heat of the battle of COVID, we just kind of get it up and running. And,
The limitations help you drive creativity.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
I like
good.
that.
That's good.
We need that on a T-shirt now.
Okay. With the sushi cat.
That and also desperate times call for desperate times or whatever John said.
Amen.
So there
That's
you go.
really good.
All right. So so you guys go through that together. So what's the state of things now? Because obviously that was during COVID.
We have grown.
So So what are things like now? Would you say?
I think right now we have, I would say the closest we've been to a real studio for, broadcast. We are, I would say, video added a bunch of equipment and it's just becoming a whole system. And it's a machine now. It's working and I really like it a lot, actually.
It's been very consistent lately.
Consistent?
Yes.
That's a good word.
And we like that.
We do.
We like consistency.
Definitely. I always say I'm not the best engineer, but I'm consistent. Bad or good, I don't know. I'm consistent. you decide that.
You go either way.
Exactly.
Right. It can be a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah.
But I think what we have now is actually amazing. So it's like everything. You want to maybe improve some things, and times change, and new equipment comes, and new techniques come, and you have to change and make it better. But I think right now we know better what we're doing. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Right. Tell me some of the challenges in this, because there are challenges, and I know that we face them, and we try to find out what those challenges are and try to solve those problems, trying to make them better. But talk about some of the challenges that you have in audio, video, in the church world.
Yeah, not like a blasting Joy Church thing. It's just like because there's just certain challenges.
There's certain challenges
in general.
There's physics.
Yeah.
I mean, we keep trying to bend the laws of physics. Is that what you mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything.
So explain what you mean by that.
Oh, some of our PA configuration was implemented in a manner in which can be revisited. And to accomplish to accomplish the goals of what we like to do. But no, really, we put in some gear when we first moved into the building that was a little oversized at first, and so we replaced that gear with a new PA. And even in the work that we did, we are still, we're kind of hit some major swings, but we missed some minor swings. You know what I mean? Like you knocked out the big ones, but the minor ones are kind of sitting there, and we keep adjusting them. But we do need to go back and revisit the design on that. And and so there's some little things like that.
I'm glad you mentioned that, by the way.
You're glad I mentioned that? But we're also, we like to be good stewards with God's money. And there's a balance of, well, are you still being a good steward, or are you being, because how many people are not listening because of that, right? So there's, all the balances. Sure. And so we're constantly aware of that, and we're paying attention and praying things through, and make sure we're doing things in time and God. And,
right.
And, so, we've got those things. And, of course, leadership things, you still have to work with people.
Right.
And so you're training people at different levels, and you're encouraging people. And we're a church. We're not a... we're not a business where we just get to hire somebody and let them go. We get volunteers that come in, and when you get volunteers, they're at all different levels, and we're not the church that just we're a teaching church, right? And so we work real hard to kind of bring people up levels, and sometimes that works really good, and sometimes it doesn't. But we still endeavor to really encourage people to kind of get plugged in and really help. What kind of technical challenge?
Keith Foust for 2024 for president.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm sorry. I just like to give the balances, right?
I love the balances.
The balances, because it's not negative. It's not negative.
It's not negative.
It's just real. Like
it's challenges.
It's
challenges are bad. Yeah,
right.
You said it all perfectly.
There's technology limitations. We all want everything to just work over Cat 5. Let's just Cat 5 everything.
I don't know if I'll ever be able to filter myself as much as you just did there. That was solid.
That was true. That was
all right. Now I want the real answer.
No, I don't want the real answer.
Chill.
No, I think Keith and I, we talk a lot, and we are very sync on how we think. And one of the things that we always talk is like, okay, we don't want it. We have volunteers, and we have to respect this person at the level that this person is.
Sure.
And we have to take that as a gift of God, that person at church. And even though that person is maybe not where I wanted it to be, because I'm professional, whatever, but I want that person to grow. And if I have a desire to be only perfect and not godly, so it just kind of, it don't really fulfill the purpose of it. So I like the idea of, okay, and I wish I had more time to help at the church, because I travel a lot, but I think that's one of the challenges we've seen. It's like not everybody's going to be on the same level, like he said, but at the same time, we have to be very careful of how to manage these people. So we have a good reputation as a church and as a body of Christ. So that's one big challenge that I see.
Right. Yeah, and I've heard of a lot of different churches that are so creative and top tier on all their production and stuff like that, but when it comes down to the actual people and the community there, I get reviews that are like, no one really stopped me in the halls and asked me how my day was going. None of these people really cared about me or were intentional or genuine, and sometimes even they were kind of fake or they did stuff poorly.
I think it's we have a big church, but at the same time we feel like a small church. I mean, I've been in other big churches that I'm not going to mention, but I moved from cities, so I can tell you that it feels like a small church. But when you really look at the numbers, like it's a big church.
It is a big church.
And that actually that's what I love about this church is that I don't feel like lost on it. So and it's easy to get lost when you have 10,000 people. 5,000 people in a church. Is easy to get lost and in the crowd and not be able to serve. And one thing I like at this church is that we don't have that much staff, and that makes everybody work for it. And people get involved. That's people get into working to the church because they're getting attached to what they like in life, and they can bring what they have.
Yeah,
wow.
That's a great point.
Good point.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I had such a great time talking to both of you guys. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Sunday night to come hang out with us and just shoot the breeze and
hang
talk
with the
some
boys.
Stuff. So we're gonna let
awesome.
Mr. John take us on the way out here.
You gonna take us out, John? You gonna take us out?
I hate to see you guys have to leave so soon. Feels like you just got here, but we're out. I'm just messing. No, thank you guys. Keep being mission men and go out and be mission minded and be men and women who are mission minded. And we love you and we hope you have a great rest of your day. And thank you guys for coming on and thank you guys for listening.
Love you guys.
We'll see you later. Peace.